When your marketing feels like a cluster of great intentions and yesterday's fixes, you need clarity with a little bit of attitude.
Around here, messy brands get direction, tired websites get a wake-up call, and scattered ideas finally line up and behave.
We don't do boring. We don't do average. We do marketing that makes people pause and then click.
So grab a chair, pour a cup of coffee, and let's make your next move your smartest one yet.
This is Marketing Made Creative. Hello, I'm Chris Gill.
And I'm Kendra Gill.
And welcome to the premiere episode of Marketing Made Creative presents Fun with Flags.
Yes. I was going to grab red flags, but didn't have time.
Aww.
Which is probably good for you because I'd have been waving
lots
my
of red
everywhere.
flags.
Because we're talking about red flags today.
Red flags.
We're calling out the website red flags before they cost you time and money. So when you're working with somebody, what to look for in the person who is building your website.
Yeah, 100%. What we have found is a lot of business owners have been burned at least once. You know, sometimes the website is a hot mess because the process was a hot mess. Sometimes the website is beautiful, but it doesn't do a daggum thing. Either way, the hidden cost of a bad website leads to lost leads, confusion, and no money's in the bank.
No money's in the bank.
She ain't got no money in the bank.
And nobody wants to be there.
Nobody wants to be there.
Right. And it also makes you look a little unprofessional.
For
So
sure.
today we're walking through 5 red flags.
5.
That tell you whether the person building your website understands your business or just knows how to move pixels around.
Ooh, we're ripping the mask off this thing.
Sure.
Let's do
So red flag numero uno.
All right.
They never ask about your business goals.
Yikes. This is a hard one. So if they're not asking, they being your website partner, if they are not asking about your business, they are not building for your business. I'm going to say that one more time. If somebody you're working with is not asking about your business, they are not building for your business. They're building a portfolio piece. They're just building something for them that looks pretty, that's hoping to get them to the next project.
So if all they're asking you about is fonts, colors, and what other sites do you look like, that's all surface level things.
And those are good questions. Those are
We ask
not
them.
bad questions. We ask them, just not first. It's not the most important thing. They shouldn't be the questions that are driving the whole project. So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, branding, hugely important. We're going to have a lot of episodes about branding, why branding matters, why branding is important, and all of those questions, fonts, colors, styles, help define that, but that is not the driving piece of a website.
Right. If there's zero discussion about ideal customers, revenue goals, yes, because your website needs to bring you in some monies, or how you actually make the money on that, and user experience and all those things. If they're not asking you those questions, that's a red flag.
It is. Well, and all of that really comes down to your website is a tool. It's something that I think most businesses acknowledge in today's day and age. They have to have it, right? And there's no question about it. In the digital space, if you want your business to be found by other people that don't know you exist, you pretty much have to have a website. And
right, it's a trust factor. It's a way for people to understand what you do. People need one.
Yeah, in the days of old, you know, it was the yellow pages. You had to be in the yellow pages. And some of our listeners are probably listening going like, what are the yellow pages? It was this book of paper that was literally yellow that businesses were listed in. If you needed to find a plumber, an electrician, a marketing agency, you had to be in this book. Websites are the new yellow pages. You have to be online. You have to have a website. So again, if your website partner, the person designing, building a website, isn't asking you about your business, pointed questions about strategy, which again, we're going to get into in a little bit, it's a portfolio piece. It's not a tool.
Right.
It's not helping you.
No one would build a hammer, put it inside of a frame and hang it on the wall and never use it.
Right.
It has a purpose. It has a job.
To smash things.
To smash. That's how I use it.
Indeed.
But the website is a tool. It should have a purpose. You should be using it for something.
Yeah. And
we had someone come in a couple of weeks ago that was like, I know I need a website, but I just want to do my thing. Like, I just want to do the thing people hire me for. You figure out the website. And so we had to dig a little bit deeper into, okay, well, what is the purpose of this besides just knowing that you need one?
Well, and that actually brings up a really good point. So from a marketing perspective, this is where campaigns really fall apart. If the site was not built to support a funnel, it can't function. And that's a huge thing that we talk about a lot with our clients. And I'm going to say something that hurts, that's going to punch some people right in the marketing.
Right in the marketing soul.
A contact page is not a funnel. Let's all say it together. A contact page is not a funnel. It's not. It's you are asking the user to take it upon themselves to reach out to you. You're not leading them through anything. There's no offer, there's no direction, there's no next steps. There's nothing for them to expect on the other side of that other than I may fill out this form, hit send, and hopefully the internet gods deliver the message and hopefully somebody gets back to me. That's not a funnel.
Right. It when you take out that piece, that funnel piece, it's really just a portfolio, which can be useful in some circumstances, but you're not getting people to hire you based on that.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
So the fix here is choose someone who leads with strategy and defines what success looks like before the design begins.
Yes. Oh, I want to hit that hard, but I know that there's more on that to come. So keep listening. Keep listening. All right. Let's keep them moving.
So red flag number 2, everything sounds the same.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So if your website reads like your competitors, it's not going to outperform them. We see this a lot. We get this request more than I actually thought we would after getting into a creative agency. There are so many people that are like, I like what this guy's doing. We do something real similar. Just make my website look and sound like this. And it's like, well,
they've already found that space. They've already found that place niched out and carved out for them in the market.
And it's not you.
And it's not you.
It's them. You don't want to sound like them. They're already doing them. You do you.
You don't want to be the Wish version of them. Can I say that?
No shade on Wish. We've bought stuff from Wish.
We have.
We may even buy some red flags from Wish for future episodes. So
I'll be heading to the Amazon.
Yeah. So the biggest thing of this we see a lot is generic headlines. Especially when we talk about like the SEO space, people come to us, they're like, I need help optimizing my website. I can't tell you how many websites we take over or analyze for clients, and we read headlines like bold moves. Bleh.
Bold moves for what?
Yeah.
Are we talking about finance? Are we talking about bold moves in marketing? What are we talking about?
That could literally apply to any industry, anywhere, anytime. It's boring. It's vanilla.
And no one's searching bold moves.
Yeah. Be specific, create your own headlines. Yeah. Just stand out.
Well, and the other piece of that is when you're scanning, let's be honest, the social media has created us into or made us into scanning monsters, right? We don't actually read deep content anymore for the most part. We scan, we find the thing that we need. And if your headlines are bold moves, that tells no one anything. They don't know what they're supposed to read.
Yeah, 100%. So the other thing, to watch out for when you're trying to not sound the same, buzzword overload. If you're in an industry and there are just similar words that everyone uses for everything, if we see the word journey on your website, your content was written by ChatGPT.
ChatGPT was here.
Like
100%.
Like get rid of that word. And that's just one example, but there are so many industries that use the same phrases, the same buzzwords over and over and over. It just gets exhausting for your readers. I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
Right.
So that
you do have to be careful when you're using AI tools like that for content. Because even when you put in something like a tone of voice doc into an AI channel, it's still pulling the same words over and over again.
It is.
So making sure that your words that you use don't become buzzwords that you use.
Or overused words.
Words.
Yeah, and that's that's a good way to say it. Yeah, just variety is good. We like variety. Nobody wants to eat at the same restaurant every day.
I don't know. There's a couple that I could eat at.
Yeah, I know. I said that, and then I was like, well, we kind of feed our dogs the same thing every day, and they seem to be happy with life. So anyway, the other thing about sounding the same is there's just no differentiation, right? You want to be different. You have to stand out, especially knowing that in today's day and age, it's so easy to spin up a website, any website. I mean, you can literally go on to GoDaddy, buy a domain for $6 for the year, and then after you're done buying that domain, a prompt now, you don't even have to ask it. A prompt pops up and says, let's get started building your website. And just you type in a description of your website and then you hit go, and GoDaddy's AI tool literally builds you a website on their platform.
Which may be great for you if you're just starting out.
Yeah.
Right. If you have no budget, if you have no things, but if you're wanting to really start to become a player in your space, in your industry, it's got to be different.
Yep, 100%.
You have to differentiate. We talk to our clients, especially when we go through branding, we have a whole exercise based around what is your X factor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What makes it what makes people drawn to you and your company inside the plumbing space or inside the electrical space. I don't know. I'm going with like construction-y things today.
Like service, trade service. No, well, and what we're talking about here is clear positioning, right? So this is where do you fit into the market? And that is so, so important. And it's a big piece that gets overlooked whenever we're talking about generating content is how do you sound? It's not just the words you use, but it's are you an expert? Are you a friend? Are you, an advisor? What is your position in what your consumers are looking for? And that's so huge. So, if your messaging could belong to anyone, it resonates with no one. So again, vanilla.
A good test for this is if you have your website up and you cover your logo, can somebody who maybe doesn't know that this is your website, can they tell that it's you?
Yeah.
Right? Can they tell that it sounds like you? It feels like what you're trying to portray.
Looks like you.
That relational piece. Because if it just sounds like every other site out there, you don't have that positioning figured out yet.
Absolutely. So the fix here is to make sure you're choosing a website partner who really pushes for that clarity, that differentiation, and that bold positioning. All right.
So red flag number 3. They can't explain why they made design choices. Ooh. So whoever's building your website is who we're talking about here. They can't explain why they picked certain colors or fonts or something. It was like, well, it looked good. So,
And if you're getting those kind of responses, the odds are they're designing for themselves and not for your business. So
right. So if you're like, why that font? And they say, well, I don't know, look cool.
Yeah, or why is the button green?
I like green.
Green means go.
Green.
So sorry, we're making designers sound like idiots. We're not. I'm a designer.
I'm not. I can.
So here's the thing. Every design choice should connect to real reasoning, and we're saying every design choice, the border radius, the shade of a color. We're talking high level here. Don't get too granular with this, but the big design decisions should have, real reasoning. So readability, brand alignment, conversion psychology, accessibility. Ooh, this is a big one in today's space. We get so many websites where there's not enough contrast to typography, or fonts are too small, or images are not optimized. There's no alt tags on images. So we could have a whole other discussion on that, but accessibility is huge in today's space.
Yes, and Google looks at accessibility as well when they are serving up search results. So it is important. Design without that intention is just decoration.
Yep.
It's not meaningful. It's not purposeful. It doesn't convert visitors into customers or clients.
Yeah, the customer is the hero. So this is from one of my favorite books on branding is by Donald Miller, StoryBrand.
We bring this book up a lot. If you have not read it, please do.
It's a must read
for it's a must read
for anyone looking to brand their agency, or not their agency, brand their company, or go through the branding process. Read this book. It's one of our gold standards.
And spoiler, he doesn't talk a lot about colors and fonts.
No,
we're talking about who are you at your core.
So here's one of my favorite quotes. It says, customers are not looking for another hero. They're looking for a guide to help them win. To unpack this in another way is basically customers don't care about how pretty your stuff is. I mean, they will psychologically care, subconsciously care about the way things look, but they want to know, can you help them? And so if your messaging isn't concise and clear, then that's where we fall into that trap a lot. So to me, the fix for this is before hiring, ask for a discovery call, ask your web partner to check out a single page of your site and explain the issues they have with it and hear their reasoning as to what they would fix and why. Their approach to this is going to tell you a lot about them, their process, and how they approach website design and development.
Sure, and if they don't have an answer for you or they stumble over it quite a bit, that's kind of an answer for you.
You're segueing into our next flag.
Oh, sorry. Red flag number 4.
Red flag number 4.
They can't explain their process clearly, and holy moly, this is a huge piece because this is probably the thing when we go over discovery calls that we either get asked about the most or we present the most to make sure that our clients know, hey, we know what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you ask somebody about their process and their answer sounds improvised, expect confusion and delays throughout the process. That just means that they either haven't done enough of these project types to have developed a process, or they are just kind of winging it on every project.
Or if it's vague answers with not a lot of detail, the kind of we're going to figure it out as we go.
Yeah,
Run.
That hurts. Yeah, no mention of strategy, messaging. Review cycles is huge when working on projects, especially web projects. There are a lot of moving pieces, a lot of steps along the way, a lot of milestones. Having an accurate strategy, an accurate plan, or a detailed plan of what that review cycle and review process looks like is critical to the success of a project, especially big projects.
Sure. And if you have, I won't say 100% of the time, because you have some people that they have built out a process around this. But if you have no website today and a website tomorrow, and you had no check-in points along the way, there's a good chance that one, it's either a template or you're going to end up with a product you don't like.
Yeah.
So I won't say that 100% across the board. I've seen a couple of people who put a lot more strategy on the front end.
Yeah.
So there is some change in that, but yeah.
Well, and a caveat I'll add here is a good process is battle tested. I mean, it's built from projects that either went way sideways and ones that went smoothly. Sometimes good projects
both.
Yeah, it's done both. It's sometimes there's a project you've got and it's like, man, that went really well. What did we do? How did that happen? What worked really well? You write that down. Right. The other projects are like, that was a train wreck. That was a 747 colliding with a semi at 90 miles an hour. Never, ever will that happen again. And so,
for example, for us in our own company, we had.
Don't name names.
I'm not going to name names. Oh my goodness! And it's been several years ago now. It's been probably 5 or 6 years ago. But we had a client who we created. I am not joking. Probably 5 different design concepts for. Oh my gosh!
I know who you're talking about.
And they still didn't like it.
So they were called. I'm kidding.
Stop! Oh my goodness! And we got to the point where like we need a step before this.
Yeah.
So that we can really align design direction. So we are not reinventing the wheel 7 times, because it was kind of a we'll know it when we see it kind of situation. And that's the worst.
Oh, it's
the worst.
It's revision purgatory. It's like we were struggling to deliver a result that he was happy with, because we do as creatives, it's like the goal is to give the client something they're happy with.
Right.
But we didn't know what he was going to be happy with. And so every concept was just a stab in the dark. Ultimately.
And the designs were fine. The designs were good, but it just wasn't the design he was looking for. And ultimately, we just had to say, hey, we're not the right partner for you. But since then, we have developed a whole process to make this work.
Yep.
And we have not run into that since.
Before design concepts. We don't even do design concepts until we have art direction. We use a process called Stylescapes that I was first introduced to by Chris Do, and it's spelled Chris, C-H-R-I-S, Do, D-O. And he now runs an organization called The Future. It's The Future spelled with no E at the end. He's an amazing creative. He ran an agency in LA for years and years and years. I respect his opinion. He's who is kind of a mentor of mine. I've read and consumed almost all of his content. But he has a process.
Changed the way we have done
He
business.
has changed the way we run our agency. Stylescapes are a beautiful way to navigate the creative process before you get into custom concept design. And since we have implemented that, I think I would safely say we have like a 90% success rate on getting to the design concept where we have a clear art direction, and we've not really ever had to do a new concept since we've implemented the Stylescapes.
But not like a whole redesign.
I can count on my hand maybe like one or twice, and that was because the project shifted directions after we did the design concept. So that wasn't on us or the client. It was just kind of like the whole company took a hard
it
left.
Evolved.
Turn! Yeah. Okay. So,
pivot.
Yeah, pivot. Absolutely. So here's the fix. Hire somebody who can hire your roadmap from day one. Clear phases, clear milestones, clear responsibilities.
Because if the process feels fuzzy in the sales conversation, the end result will be a little fuzzy too.
100%.
So red flag, this is the last one. Can you even believe it? Wild. Red flag number 5, they are allergic to feedback.
Oh, this is such a nice way to say this. Creatives are notoriously bad and guilty of assuming that all feedback is hostile. Like the client
if I created it, it's gold.
Well, or it's like its design is personal. And if the client has feedback, the client is an idiot. They don't know what they're talking about. And it's treated as hostile. That is something every designer goes through. You just will. It's a learned skill. But as an agency, we understand that design is not personal. It's to us. It's personal to the client. We're designing something like But if you're asking questions, makes things tense between you and your website partner, you're dealing with ego or inexperience, not partnership.
If they bristle, defend, or dismiss feedback like you've insulted their firstborn, that's a big red flag.
Yeah, I mean, defensive responses to simple questions, explaining why you're wrong instead of listening, another huge red flag. Making you feel difficult for having an opinion about your own website.
Or making you feel dumb for having an opinion about your own website.
We get this a lot. Some people, it is staggering the amount of people that come to us and they say, I was working with this freelancer. We've been working with them for 9 months. I've blown $20,000. This thing still isn't done. And then as we start working with the client, they're like, oh, I wish I would have gone through this the first time with the stylescape process and the content phase. This would have negated all of my frustrations and issues. And we're like, we know. That's why we have our process.
That's why we do it.
That's why we do it this way. I mean, at the end of the day, this is kind of feeds into that. You are the expert on your business. Your web partner should be the expert on websites. Both, I'm going to say this, both have to be true at the same time. Feedback is not conflict. It's collaboration.
Now, that being said,
yes,
sometimes clients come back with feedback that is not a good idea. And there is a difference between being like, that's stupid and we're not doing that, versus saying, okay, I understand what you're saying here. I get where you're coming from, but this is why that we may not want to take that route because of, Google will see it this way, or accessibility, blah, blah, blah. There are ways to respond to that feedback in a proactive way that helps them understand why the design is important, not to make that mistake.
Right.
So.
Well, and this is something, again, that just comes with experience. And this is kind of the key differentiator between an experienced developer, creative, and somebody who's maybe a little more isolated or underexperienced is how to handle feedback. If what I find is when creatives get upset with you for feedback and they fire like, no, that's wrong. We're not going to do that. That's dumb. And they don't offer a solution or an alternative or some sort of a compromise, they're likely not going to be a good fit because you have an idea of what you need this thing to be successful and what it needs to do and goals and vision and how to reach your audience. They have an idea of how people communicate, what things need to look like, how things need to be built. And if they're not willing to meet you in the middle on that, then that's not a partnership. That's a recipe for failure.
You don't want somebody who just says, that's not how design works, bro. Right? You want someone who can tell you, hey, let's work it out this way instead. So you can have a little bit more what you're looking for and it still appeases the Google gods,
And we've had clients come to us and have really good ideas.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what if we did, this needs to do this? Psh, that's awesome. That's cool. Let's make it happen.
Right.
Yep.
So the fix here is look for a collaborator who welcomes feedback, explains their reasoning, and is working towards the same goal as you are.
And a good way to tell if they're going to be good at feedback is if they have a feedback process. If they don't have a feedback process, that tells you they're not expecting feedback or they don't want feedback on some level, whether it's subconscious or in reality, it's what's your feedback and revision process?
Right. If you feel like a burden in week 2, just imagine month 3, right? Like, ooh.
Yep.
All right. So enough red flags. Enough. Here's some green ones.
Green flags.
Pretty flags, right?
Yes.
And we run a strategy first shop. We're not looking for chaos.
Nope.
We're not looking for jargon.
No jargon.
Just clear and proven results.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about our process so that you can see whether it's, any company that you work with has a strong process put in place.
They should.
We're going to give you an exact example of our process so that when you're looking for it, whether it's us or someone else, you have an idea of what that process could look like.
So our approach is, the first thing is strategy. Strategy has to come first.
You can't do strategy at the end.
You can't. It's that is a cart before the horse scenario, if ever there was one. We focus on strategy before anything is designed or built. I have said this time and time again. Content informs design.
When he says it time and time again, it's every project. The client comes in, we talk about content, and the words content informed design come out of his mouth.
My background is I spent the first 10 years of my career as a designer, a print graphic designer. I am a designer at heart. I am a creative by nature. I'm a designer to my core. I now understand that without content, my design is just wallpaper. We have to have content that is the foundation for what is going to visually represent that content. In fact, I don't even know how any creative could build visuals without knowing an objective. Like, graphic design is all about achieving an objective, whether it's an advertisement, whether it's a poster, whether it's a billboard, whether it's a vehicle wrap. Those designs have a purpose. If you don't know what that purpose is, I don't know what you're doing. I can't even talk about that. Like, I just don't know.
Right.
Speechless.
Trying to stuff content into a design is a lot harder than designing for the content.
Mm-hmm. Well, and your website needs to accomplish a goal beyond just looking pretty. I mean, this is something we say over and over again. In fact, it's one of our old taglines we used to have on our website is we build websites with beauty and brains. I think we've even said that on here before. So that's kind of the mantra, is that it's not one or the other. One's not more important than the other either. They have to work together to achieve your business goals. Yep.
Sure. Looking at the proven process, we hand you the roadmap on day one. We'll hand it to you before day one. If you're coming in and you're looking at us as a potential partner for you for the discovery call, we'll tell you, here's our process.
It's on our website.
It's on our
Literally.
website. Right.
You can go to brickroad.com/website-design, and it's the second section on there. It literally, it's our process. It's 5 steps.
In the show notes as well.
Yeah, link in the show notes. It's there. It's our process. But we don't hide it. It's proven. It's successful. It's how we build websites all day, every day. Yeah.
Yep. It doesn't matter if you're in construction or if you are in a law firm or it does not matter. The process works.
Yeah, absolutely. Clear phases, milestones, sign-offs throughout. These are the things that never change. Now, the things that, and this is an example, if you work with a web partner and they're like, well, every client's different and every client's unique. And so the process has to fit the client. Every client is different. Every client is unique. But at the end of the day, we're all starting in Boston and we're all trying to get to Los Angeles. We may take some different pit stops, a little detour along the way, but the roadmap is the same. We're all going from east to west, this city to this city.
We have a roadmap to get from there.
We're going to get there. We may stop at Starbucks for this client, and Dunkin' Donuts for this client, McDonald's for this client, and a steakhouse for this client, but we're all going to end up at the same place and we're all going the same general direction. And that's the thing that's important. There's no mystery. There's no chasing endless anything, revisions, designs, no purgatory, no just, this has been stuck for 9 months.
Right.
None of that.
None of that.
None of it.
And having that partnership energy is crucial. We are genuinely invested in our client's success because if they're successful, it means we're successful, right?
Yeah.
Good. If they are happy, then we get good reviews. If they are unhappy, then
we get bad reviews.
Yeah.
Which, well, that's a different topic for a different day.
Not exactly.
Doesn't happen.
We really try to, even if we have run into instances where people have been unhappy about a certain step. Okay, well, how do we solve this? We're very solution first type.
Here is a perfect example. We've got a client we're working with right now. They originally came to us. Their website's broken. It's built in some ancient page builder. Nobody knows how to use it. It's all those things. They came to us and they found this new system, which is Bricks, which we use. Bricks Builders, one of our current tools that we use to help build sites. Came to us and said, we want to rebuild this in Bricks. This is what, some of our team members know how to use, so they'll be able to update it. I said, great. We gave them a cost. They agreed to it. Everything was rocking and rolling. I started digging into this site, and I'm noticing other issues, technical issues, some hosting issues, some server issues, and I'm like, based on the goals that they shared with me.
Well, and user experience.
Based on those goals that they shared with me, these are the things that this rebuild needs to accomplish. I put together real quick, this rebuild is not going to accomplish any of these.
We will do it if you really want us to.
I will rebuild this because we had already agreed to it. But yeah, I basically had a second meeting with them and I'm like, guys, here's the thing. I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to fulfill the original agreement, but I'm going to shoot straight with you. This is not going to accomplish your goals. And so we kind of walked them through everything, opened their eyes, and it, turned into a little bit bigger of a scope of a project. But I got an email later on and they were like, thank you for having our back.
Yeah.
That was more rewarding for me than the increased scope of work, just because it's like, I'm going to do right by these guys. That's reputation building for me. People know that I'm not just in this to make a buck, cash out, and move on to the next project.
And on the flip side, we had a client come in who was like, well, we need to do all this SEO things. And we're like, what you're wanting to do is not in your best case. We actually lost the potential to do work here because we're like, this is not in your best interest.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
We had a client meeting. He's like, I need to do SEO and all these things. I'm like, you can pay me to do that, but I was like, it's not going.
It's just a weird industry.
It's an incredibly niched industry.
Yeah.
There are maybe like a dozen web searches a year nationwide for what this guy does. And I just straight up told him, I'm like, I could collect $1,200 from you a month, but it's not going to do you any good. And you're going to sit across the table from me in 6 months and go, what's my ROI? I'm going to say nothing. Or if we get you one, maybe you earn that $500,000 contract. But I just told him, I'm like, I don't think that's your best avenue. So again,
and give other options.
Yeah, make sure you've got people that have your best interest at heart.
So the other part of being in that partnership energy, we welcome feedback. We have a process for feedback.
Mm-hmm.
We put it into our project management system, a section, a task for client feedback.
Yeah, we expect it. We want it.
And we have very clear, defined expectations for them and us.
Feedback is fuel, not friction. It's fuel.
It is.
Well, it's essential to the process. You know your business. We don't. You know, we're going to do our market research and do a best guess based on our meetings. But yeah, you have to tell us what you want, what your goals are. We have to keep that. It's like a little paper boat in the stream floating down the river. You got to nudge it every once in a while to make sure it stays on track. Otherwise, it's going to run aground.
Well done.
Thank you. That was not in the notes.
I know.
I came up with that off my head.
Analogy. Well done.
Thank you.
So what can you do moving forward? What are some actions that you can take? And I think the biggest thing is we've come up with a checklist, 4 questions. That's it. A 4-question checklist for your next website call for whoever you're working with.
Yeah. All right. So before you sign anything, don't sign anything, don't pay anything. You need to ask these 4 questions. Number 1, what does your content planning process look like? If they do not have an answer,
red flag.
Red flag. Yep. Red flag.
Yeah. And number 2, how do you measure success besides the look of the website, besides the aesthetics? Listen for business outcomes, not just pretty. If they can't give you that, red flag.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like, oh, well, it'll look good on mobile. Well, looking good is not the benchmark of a successful website. It's a qualifier. It's a prerequisite. If you're hiring a company, a prerequisite is that it should look good. That's not. Sorry.
Settle down.
Future episode.
Stop saying that because then I have to go actually put it together.
All right. How do you handle feedback in revision rounds? That's question number 3. How do you handle feedback? You want a clear and vague, you want a clear and fair process, not vague or restrictive. Make sure that they've got mechanisms. Yeah, say, hey, yep, we've got a Google Doc where you can give feedback. We've got a client portal where you can put comments. We use Basecamp. We pick a tool.
Right, because if they don't, you will have scope creep.
Yep, 100%. Yeah.
So question number 4, what does success look like for a project like mine? If they can't define it, they can't build toward it.
Yeah, and again, this question's twofold. It helps you get insight into their experience. It also helps you gain insight into, have they worked with people like me before? Have they worked with companies like mine or people in my industry? This is a really powerful question.
The best thing that they could do probably is to answer with a question.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So if you say, what does success look like for a project like mine? And they answer with, well, what are your business goals? What does this need to do? That'll actually tell you that they are thinking strategically about your project versus just, if you say, what does success look like for my project? And they're like, well, we'll make sure you have funnels and we'll make sure you have, clear navigation structure. Like if they start answering with
your website should have those
deliverables,
things.
every website should have those things.
Your website should have those things. It should not be in the answer to the question.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So recap.
Yep.
5 red flags are if they don't ask business questions, if everything sounds the same for the content, if they can't explain design choices, there's no clear process, and they're allergic to feedback. That's my favorite.
Yeah. If your website partner is checking any more than 2 of these boxes, it's probably either time for a conversation where you just need to ask them, hey, can we start thinking a little more strategically about this? Or if you're already too far down the rabbit hole with them, and it may be time to cut the cord and look for somebody who can approach this from a different angle, like Brick Road Creative.
Yeah. So if you're waving the red flags over here, I really want a red flag.
I know you really want a red flag.
I really want one. If they're a big part of your current setup and you're ready for a site that actually understands your business, head over to brickroad.com. Yeah. Shameless plug.
Yep. We'd love to chat with you.
Come on over.
Yeah.
We'll chat.
Let's do it.
Chitty chat.
Yep. Indeed. All right. Let's do it. Let's get to it. No more red flags.
No more red flags.
Yep.
So let's go make your brand impossible to ignore.
If your brain just whispered, wow, that explains a lot, take a seat. You're among friends.
So now, don't ghost your own momentum. Subscribe so every episode hits before the chaos does.
And hey, toss us a review. It tells the algorithm you're tired of boring advice. And when you want resources that punch way above free, head over to brickroad.com.
Until next time, go make your brand impossible to ignore.